You know, I am the first to admit I am not much of a morning person, which is why I like to make my French toast custard at night. There are plenty of advantages. For one thing, I won't have to do it tomorrow. For another thing, the custard will probably taste better because mature custards usually do. And the other advantage is that it always reminds me to put out some bread to dry. That lady was right. Toast racks are very, very nice, especially when you make them out of, 3 cents of wire. This may be the most important step in making French toast, okay? Fresh bread will just fall apart when the batter hits the pan. Stale bread soaks up plenty of custard while remaining sturdy. Just make sure, 8 hours, minimum. I mean it. Now come on. The custard will start with 1 cup of half and half. To that, we're gonna add some honey. Oh, and I like to put the honey in the microwave for a few seconds because it's easier to work with and it integrates better into the custard. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball 2 tablespoons here. 1, 2. And we're gonna need a little salt. Let's see here. I'm gonna guess 1/4 of a teaspoon. Oh, these, I like being prepared. And 3 eggs, just large eggs. 1, 2, 3. And just whisk gently to combine. If you're having like your in-laws over for breakfast, you may want to strain this to get out the little ropey calaze, but hey, it's just me and I don't care. There we go, and just put a plate on top and get this back into the refrigerator. That way, we're all set in the morning. Oh, I'm tired, look at the time. You don't mind cleaning up, do you? Great, good night. Good morning. Let's make that French toast. Step 1, pour yourself a cup of joe. Step 2, retrieve your custard. Step 3, check your bread. Perfect. Step 4, set your oven for 375 degrees. Step 5, make sure that you've got a rack in the middle or just above the middle. Why? Because we're gonna bake on it. Why bake? Well, look at it this way. French toast, when it's good, is crispy on the outside and creamy on the inside. The best way to ensure that is to cook it twice, once in a pan and once in the oven. You're gonna need a rack to do some draining, and you're gonna need a pan to catch some stuff. You're also going to need 1 pie or cake pan. Pour the custard in the pan and drop in the first 2 pieces of bread. There. Now let those soak for 30 seconds on each side. No more, no less. Flip and repeat. Now you watch those, I'm gonna go get the butter. Okay, everybody out of the pool. Now these pieces have taken on board all the liquid that they need. But that doesn't mean that they have soaked it all in, okay? By letting these rest for 2 minutes or so, that liquid will move into the core of the bread, and that is gonna make all the difference later on. Now, in the meantime, heat your largest nonstick skillet over medium-low heat until it's nice and toasty. We'll say around 350 to 375 degrees. Now, butter, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. And as soon as it starts to bubble down, go ahead and introduce the toast. As soon as those go in, go ahead and start soaking 2 more. It should only take you 5 to 10 minutes to brown all of your toast pieces on both sides. When the last pieces are done, move them off to the rack, and then move this whole contraption to the oven. Set to 375 as we said. I usually just move these to the rack, but if you don't want to do that, you could move this rack to the rack. Well, that's just as good, isn't it? Give these 5 minutes for the custard to firm up, and in the meantime, get ready to eat. I'll be back.